I know this video is out pretty late given the subject matter, but I still wish to talk about it. What is the album Trench by 21 Pilots all about? There are several theories, interpretations, and explanations about the world Tyler and Josh created. To me, I may not be 100% right, but this is what I think Tyler Joseph had in mind when writing this album. Trench in the world of Dima as a dystopian metaphor for depression. This video is brought to you by my Patreon. You can support me and get cool perks at the link in the description down below. Hi, and welcome to RECORE Rewind. This month, we're celebrating music in May. This episode is going to be about one of my favorite albums from 2018, 21 Pilots' long-awaited release, Trench. While I am saying the story for how I got into 21 Pilots for a later video, I think it's important that we at least cover some backstory so this metaphor can make sense. 21 Pilots is the musical duo of singer-songwriter Tyler Joseph and drummer Josh Dun. They have never shied away from talking about difficult subject matters, from depression, mental illness, and even suicide. From Tyler's deep lyrics and the duo's energetic presence, the band has garnered a large fan base called the Skeleton Clique. Another thing worth noting is that while both Tyler and Josh are Christian, and there is Christian imagery and messages spread throughout their lyrics, 21 Pilots is not and does not aim to be labeled as a Christian band. Furthermore, the reach goes far beyond a Christian audience, and even the more religiously oriented songs still connect to their secular audience. Examples include Not Wanting to Fall Away from the Faith and Fall Away, and the damage done by the church in attempts to witness to people and heathens. But the tension of cleverly masking the gospel in what's seen as otherwise secular music, instead of spelling it out directly for them, is the subject of one of my favorite songs from Regional at Best, Clear. Yet, when it came time to write Trench, Tyler mentioned in various interviews that the world created was a world in which he would live if there was no God and he was an atheist. To me, this explanation is not so much saying that God isn't present in the world of Dima, as it is saying that God is necessary to understand the metaphor I'm about to explain. And to fully understand the world, you must first explore Tyler and Josh's strange yet effective marketing strategy. Starting in July 2017, the band posted cryptic lyrics from their songs with a red eye closing on their social media. Once the eye closed after the last line from Car Radio, and now I just sit in silence, it began a nearly year-long hiatus for the band. Now, I put hiatus in quotes because it isn't a hiatus per se, but it's what the Skeleton Clique called the band's break from social media while they were working on this new album. For a while, there was nothing until April 21st, 2018, when someone discovered a GIF had been edited on their store site, containing pieces of a URL at the domain dma.org.info. When typing the domain, you were first sent a cryptic 404 error page, but once all the pieces were put together, they were able to load a blog-type web page containing letters and information about the world called Dima through the eyes of a still unknown and mysterious figure, Clancy. Based on one of the letters from Clancy, we know that Clancy is not Tyler's character from the first 3 music videos from that album. We know this because that letter from Clancy explains what happened to Tyler in the music video for Jumpsuit as if he witnessed it. Dima is a city that is ruled by 9 bishops. These bishops have a religion called Vialism, which is essentially the worship of light. Each bishop rule over different parts of the city. In the section Tyler's character lives in, the bishop is Niko. Living in Dima, under the control of the bishops, needs something to be desired. Yet Dima is surrounded by high walls, and if you want to escape, you can't go over because the walls are simply too high. Yet there are a group of people called Bandidos who try to fight against the bishops in their controlling ways. They wear the color yellow, which is the symbol for the Crunch era. Dima is a gray dystopian city, and many people have tried to get out. Many of these attempts fail, and even if you do make it out, oftentimes a bishop will come after you and bring you back. As you will see as I dissect the first 3 music videos from Trench and the song Leave the City, you'll understand why I think this is a perfect explanation for what it is like to have depression. Jumpsuit's music video begins with a car on fire, similar to the car in the Heavy Dirty Soul music video from the Blurryface era. After that, we essentially see Tyler attempting to escape Dima by himself. Eventually, he is caught by Niko, whose face is blurry and wearing a veil, and he has a red cape. He arrives on horseback, and after getting off the horse, Niko puts black makeup over Tyler's neck, a symbol Tyler used to represent Blurryface from that era. In case you're unfamiliar with Blurryface, all you need to know is that Blurryface represents an alter ego of Tyler's that embodies his insecurities, doubts, and flaws. Blurryface may be another metaphor for depression, but Trench's, I feel, is much more thought out and well put. Anyway, back to the Jumpsuit video. Throughout the whole ordeal, a group of people, including Josh Dunn, all presumably Bandidos, are watching from the top of a cliff. As Tyler is reluctantly following Niko, the Bandidos throw what looks like yellow flower petals off the edge of the cliff, which puts Niko's horse into a daze. Yellow is essentially not just a symbol of rebellion against the bishops, but it seems kind of directly to work against them. This gives Tyler the chance to escape from Niko's grasp once more. Eventually, we find Tyler down in the rocks and water, presumably defeated and caught by Niko again as we move on to the next video, Niko and the Niners. Niko and the Niners shows much more of Dima and the bishop's lifestyle. We see the city itself as well as what appears to be a sort of religious ritual done by the bishops using light bulbs. We also see Tyler packing a suitcase as if he's going to attempt to escape again. We also see a group of Bandidos with torches going through what appears to be a tunnel. It all comes together when the Bandidos surround Tyler in the tunnel, and Josh reveals he's one of the Bandidos. The duo then do the exact same handshake they did in the Stressed Out music video, before they all go on together as a joint attempt to escape Dima. But that's not before Tyler raps and Josh drums a quick verse, which includes the line, "We'll win, but not everyone will get out." And sure enough, The video ends when a group of people find Tyler's jumpsuit at the entrance of the supposed tunnel, and the bishops are not far behind. Levitate continues the journey of the Bandidos escaping Dima, as well as a celebration and camp out of sorts once they've escaped. There are torches and a campfire, and several instances of Josh drumming while Tyler raps. Yet, remember Tyler's warning from earlier? Just as Tyler predicted, a bishop sneaks up behind the cap, and lo and behold, it's Niko, who quickly and unexpectedly snatches Tyler and drags him back into Dima with a rope around his neck, almost reminiscent of a noose. That is the Trench trilogy of music videos. While the other singles released to date, Maya Blood and Chlorine, have music videos of their own, they do not continue within the same storyline. This sort of leaves something to be desired, similar to the last track on the album, Leave the City. Yet to me, two lines made the metaphor I'm about to explain click together in my head, and it all made sense. The first bit of lyrics come from the second verse. It's only time before they show me why no one ever comes back with details from beyond. And then it's the bridge, where Tyler sings 4 times, "In time I will leave the city. For now I will stay alive." In an interview, the interviewer mentioned to Tyler how Leave the City seems to be building up to a big crescendo, but never finishes. Tyler responded that he left Leave the City intentionally open-ended, and that it's true what he sings at the very end of the song. They know what I mean. Now, it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for. What the heck is this metaphor I see in the world of Trench? To me, Trench, the city of Dima, the bishops, and all of that symbolizes depression through the eyes of a dystopian city. In Dima, everything is gray and death seems to be the focus. After all, Towers of Silence, an ancient burial technique where birds of prey pick at the dead, is at the heart of the city. The bishops rule Dima with some type of misinformation. It's not that they're lying, but rather that they seem to be covering up what life to the fullest is really like. Now this leads for a desire of freedom, as Bandidos work against the bishops and people try to escape Dima. This is a very difficult task, and not many people succeed. It's sort of similar to what it's like for people who battle depression. It's a fight to live every single day, even though you often feel down. Most escape attempts fail, and even if you do make it out, more often than not, a bishop will secretly follow you and drag you right back into Dima when you least expect it. As someone with depression myself, I can speak of many times where I think I'm back in a good spot, only for some minor thing to go wrong and drag me right back to square one. But Leave the City does not end with a sense of hopelessness. After all, depression is always a battle and a cycle of making it out of the dumps and then being dragged right back down again. Yet one of the last few lines explains how Tyler manages to keep a sane mind. He finds support from the people who love him, be it the clique or the people in his life personally. Trench seems to emphasize the latter, with songs about his brother in My Blood, his wife Jenna in Smithereens, and a tribute to his late grandfather in Legend. As he sings in Leave the City, though I'm far from home, in Trench I'm not alone, these faces facing me. This support is embodied in the Bandidos. Even though they often try to escape, they often find support among each other while they live within the city of Dima. Well, that's my interpretation of Trench by 21 Pilots. Remember, this is just my opinion and my own interpretation. Overall, I really love Trench. And I'm sort of disappointed that it's not doing as well as its predecessor. To me, while I like both albums, Trench is superior to Blurryface. But anyway, please let me know what you think of my interpretation in the comments. Do you agree with me, or do you disagree? Do you have your own interpretation? Please let me know. Well, that's it for today's episode of RECORE Rewind. A special thanks to Clifford Stummy, the pop song professor, whose Demo for Dummies video series helped refresh my memory on the lore of 21 Pilots as it relates to Trench. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Until next time, this is Rico Robbins signing off. Goodbye.